Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the video of my 1000 day challenge, the day 565. So let's get things started. Alright, so first and foremost, in terms of a balance wise, it's a little bit of drop purely based on the experimental trade setup. Like I mentioned yesterday, two of them was trigger stop loss. And earlier today, I also did enter a set of a long setup. So I think only one of them managed to take profit. The other one, I didn't monitor that closely enough and resulted in, I think 3 or 4 of them taking losses, even though they were almost, I guess, hitting the target profit itself. So generally, when price do hit my first level of target, I do move towards the break even at least. That's something that I do. But if I do fail to monitor, then apparently I still do have a hard stop loss in that particular manner. So I still do limit my losses in this particular way. All right. Otherwise, if you look in terms of overall general market consensus itself on the S&P 500 Nasdaq, we do lean towards some of neutral, leaning to a little bit of bearish momentum. The 200-day simple moving average has been crisscrossing a little bit too much, so I wouldn't place too much emphasis onto the price action onto it itself, but rather just looking on the just price action, avoiding removing the 200-day simple moving average. I still remains here as rather neutral because we are somewhat consolidating over there with not much of a strong selling pressure just yet. So generally, after a huge move, you do prefer or you do tend to see some sort of consolidation pattern first before we actually do continue towards the other direction, because people will be trying to take a step back, and then buyers will be coming in who are looking for bargain will come in. Sellers may be a little bit more skeptic to want to sell and things like that. But until things reach a little bit of equilibrium stage, whereby either the buyers or the seller have accumulated sufficient position itself, then you're more likely swing towards the other direction, because that is where the equilibrium will potentially end, simply because you either run out of buyers or you run out of sellers, and will proceed in the other direction or back towards the continuing towards the downside in that direction itself. All right, in terms of China market itself, rather neutral to a little bit bearish as well, especially about AHR. Even though we do have a very nice bounce, still bear in mind that we maintain actually below the 20-day exponential moving average on the daily chart. You can see over here, heavily rejected. So we still definitely need to close above it and maintain a bit of it for at least 1 to 2 days to show sign of reversal in that. Otherwise, the strong bearish momentum definitely does remain, although we have a potential double bottom in place in that sense. So for KY itself, similarly, we have a very strong consolidation over here. Even though if you look in terms of it, a small price action itself, it does lean towards potential break towards the upside. But until we can break above this top itself, and preferably above $40 mark itself and stay above it, I still lean towards further potential towards the downside. So if we can break above, stay above it for at least 1 to 2 days, and then the continuation towards the upside, that would potentially mark the swing of momentum itself. And the decrease of volume is also very clear that this is a very nice consolidation pattern, and either direction that breaks, be it the upside or downside, is more likely to lean towards the direction of momentum in that sense. All right, and then finally for Bitcoin itself. So I want to mention I did enter on a 4-hour trade over here. So if you look in terms of price over here, it did sort of hit the first target over here. So I did close, I think somewhere, I think around here. Yeah, after the first red candlestick, actually closed below it. Alternatively, you will close second one below, so we right around here. So there was a bearish engulfing candlestick. You could potentially choose to close just as well. So right now, 50% of the position, I actually bring the break even to somewhere along here, slightly higher itself. So even if it does hit, it will just be a break even trade. And if it does find support of 50 and 20 exponential moving average, that would be great. And we do find support, we could potentially have another leg up to retest this key horizontal resistance at 45K itself. That will be something I want to see, but bear in mind that we could definitely still fall towards the downside, because overall on the daily chart, we still lean towards bearish momentum in that sense. But potentially a retest of the 200-day exponential moving average on the daily chart, it could be in place, which is currently around 46.5K region itself. Yep, 46.5K region itself. That will coincide to somewhere right above here. So somewhere right above here itself. So yeah, potentially we could have a retracement here and then a continuation towards the upside. But otherwise, that's more or less about it. I don't have any trades set up. After this video itself, I'll update again the balance, definitely going down further a bit, but bear in mind that this is still according to the plan. I'll still stick to the plan. Otherwise, that's more or less about it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.